Hello, here I have 8 pieces of Sento locks. I have picked this and I don't have any functioning key or even key that would fit to these locks. And then I have also some execs I just picked, and I don't have either functioning key for these. Then I heard that one of my fellow locksporter has done a cool 3D model that you can parameterize based on the fittings, and then okay, everywhere there is nowadays these 3D printers. It cannot be that hard, so I have no previous background with 3D printing or 3D modeling or anything that kind of stuff. So then I decided that let's try without studying too much of those parameters. I have heard when someone has talked about discussed about these temperatures and different materials for 3D printing. I don't know anything about those, but let's try without too much studying if I can get suitable key done for this Sento and then one for the exec. So let's try how it goes. First, I think I need to make this 3D model and then to 3D printer, and then let's try printing.
Okay, so it's in GitHub. Render is the name of the person who has done this, and there you can scroll Abloy, then open SCAD. There now we try Sento. So it's here. It seems that there's a set of files. Then you can clone this repository and take them, and then if you open this Sento as SCAD in this open SCAD tool, at least what I'm using, there you see that it seems like a bit like programming, so not that bad if you are not familiar with this this kind of 3D modeling that I'm completely not. So it seems that it takes blank, import it, then it depending what you have given here when you call this module or function, then you have a call argument list, and then maybe it's somehow going through this list there, and then if else for these cuts, and then if it's everything is cut number 1, for me it's cut number 0, so 0 cut, then it's like this. Then if we make a different key, just replace these numbers with the cuts in the key, and then I click this, then it looks a bit strange, and then I press this render. Maybe it's something that you do in this kind of 3D modeling, it's doing something. Then at least I have to wait for a moment. Then as a result it will produce, you can make this STL file, and then with the STL file you can go to the 3D printer, and then let's check what kind of result we will get. I have never played with these 3D printers, so maybe it is like normally with the first try, that because of some parameter not in the optimum value, result will not function. But now small waiting, and then it's ready. Okay, key looks like this. Then when I check this, I realized that this is very tiny here. Maybe this small piece here is needed, that this will fit for all, but it's very small here, and I'm not sure how the 3D printer what I'm using is able to make so small thing here. Others looks quite nice. Then just click this and make the STL file, and then printering is the next step.
Okay, now printing is done. First, when I went to the printer, I realized that this STL or whatever file is not suitable, I need to make a new type of file for the printer. Then I made the file and then it started to print it, but for some reason it started to print something very strange like this. I don't know what is this round thing, because it was not in my 3D model what I made, but then when I opened the project file later on, there it was. So for some reason it wanted to start to make this kind of, and then I decided that I don't need it, so I stopped it. Then it started to print normally like this. Okay, then finally printing done. Here is a key what is done for exec. Not very smooth. I have done some shaping for this, but not very many. Then if I try to one of these locks, it's not fitting to lock. So okay, as it is not good enough to function here. Then I printed also this Sento key, and for that I also shaped it a bit, and now after small shaping it's fitting to lock, but it's not functioning. It's turning, so it's possible to enter the lock completely and turn, but not opening. Then let's cut the lock and see how it's behaving there. Okay, lock, cut it. Then this looks quite ugly. I have tried to fix it many times. So it's able to make this turning movement, but there's this now, as it is now, there's this challenge that this thing here is not fully turning, and I think the reason is that this piece was so small there for this in the key that it just fucked up. And then sometimes when I played with okay, and this should not, okay, now it's not turning. Sometimes it was turning. Also this disc there. Let's see if I put it again. Now it's not turning. Maybe if I turn it other way, is it? Okay, now from that point of view it's functioning. So when I tried it earlier, this also was moving. Now this is not oversetting, but sometimes this was also oversetting. But the problem here is, now it's not the problem. Okay, demo effect. But sometimes this was not moving enough, and then because this is not moving enough, it was still here, this one blocking the opening. So this was not functioning well enough, and okay, I believe that with some more understanding of 3D printing, I could have got it done. Here is this very small piece. I have tried to fix many things here, and I gave up with this. It's turning some of the disc. I believe that it's possible, but okay, I failed with this. And so let's try something different, because I want to get this, want to get functioning key for these locks. And then on the other hand, while I was studying this, I understood what are the differences between the different keys. So in this lock sample, if I look here is a small additional space here, material, and also here small material. Then in the key what I have, which key it was, not this one but this one. Yes, this one. So this was not fitting here, but then I realized that if I remove material here, and then on the other side also it can fit to this lock. But then I also realized that this key tip is different. So in this lock, so I removed all the discs, then inserted this key guiding element back. First insert this. Then the rest of the key guiding element. Then still this one. Now if we try, so here it's possible to see that what kind of profile this one thing here in the rear is requesting. This profile here. So it seems that depending on the Sento key, this is in different position, this small thing here, this additional notch. So now when I shaped this key a bit, I was able to get it fitting. So I removed some material from the key tip here. And now if this much is removed, it's good for this that has two of these notches there. Originally there was only one center here, so I had to remove enough so that here is one and then here is one. And now when it's done like that, then it's fitting there. And now it's functioning correctly, so also the second last disc is at the through gate and this is not oversetting. So with these modifications I was able to get this key to enter the Sento lock, and then also I had to shape few of these to get bittings fitting correctly. And then now if I insert the discs back here, then theoretically this should function. Right, discs set there. Then let's check operation with this modified key. Here everything seems to be fine. Here also fine. So this would function. Then I modified all these 7 locks, or changed the discs in all those 7 locks. I have locks that has this type of profile here and here to same disc. So now maybe this one key, modified key, should master them all. Let's check. Okay, now with the real lock, here this black thing is this, inside this black thing is this hex screw. I decided to put so this hex that is used to lock it from here. I keep it here, then I don't get it lost. Okay, now functions nicely with this modified key. So I did not modify anything in the lock except, so I didn't change this. Of course I could have shaped this also. I didn't shape this or the back side of the lock, just modified the key. Functioning nicely. Next one, functioning nicely. Next one, functioning nicely. Next one, functioning nicely. Next one, Next one, 111, functioning nicely. Next one, functioning nicely. So altogether 7 following this. Then there's this 8. It's this modified key is fitting to the lock. Now if I look this more carefully, here you can see that now here this was next to this center keyway, this additional thing here, it's a bit upper. So now this key what I have modified, is it this key? No, or is it this one? Yes, this one is able to enter to the lock, but then here on the end of the lock there is this last thing is in different position. It's not like here it was this and this. Then now when I got it this here, it was very here. So it was next to this. So this was the reason why in this 3D model for the Sento key there is very small amount of this only, because I think this profile what is here is the critical in that sense. For this key I did not have to modify from this side because it was nice fitting here, but it was not able to turn this lock because this was incorrectly shaped here. So I had to shape here, remove material, so because this one additional thing there is very here. So now when it's like this, then and then I also changed the discs to fitting to this. Or I didn't change the discs actually, just the disc order, and I had to shape here. But I had shaped two. One, this was something else. I shaped it to 1 or cut number 4 or 5 depending what second lowest cut, and then I think this I shaped also, and then it's functioning with this. So now I've got one Sento that is functioning with this modified key, and then 7 Sentos that are functioning with this key. Now I still have, was this also one of these Sentos? 2, 4, yes. I still have 5 execs that for I don't have any key. This was not functioning, this 3D printed model. But to counter failure in this printing of 3D model, I managed to get this fixed or functioning with the modified key. So maybe one day I can make also 3D printed keys. I don't need to use these modified keys, real keys. Of course this is way stronger than this 3D printed. But okay, this was also the simplest material what is used, what I used here. Maybe with some stronger material and better parameterization for the printer I might be able to do it. Okay, this was first my test 3D printing failure, but I was able to counter it with modifying one of the existing key. And the learnings in this 3D model for me was that I was spending enough time to understand the differences in the Sento lock. So now I can easily modify some existing key for new key profile, because I maybe only thing that is changing is this first disk here, what place here it's blocking, and then the second last disk where it has here. Maybe this would fit for them all now when it's shaped like this. Okay, some hassle. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.